Well, despite no proof of collusion, the Democrat National Committee is going ahead and suing the Trump campaign, Russia, WikiLeaks founder Julian Assange, and several other associates of President Trump, alleging a widespread conspiracy to tilt the 2016 election in Donald Trump's favor. Now, the suit names several Trump campaign aides who met with Russian nationals during the campaign, including son-in-law Jared Kushner, campaign chair Paul Manafort, and campaign deputy Rick Gates. Let's talk with the panel about this now. Adriana Cohen from Boston Herald Radio host, Mark Lotter, former special assistant to President Trump, and back with us, Robin Byro and Harmeet Dillon. Let me start with you on this, Adriana, because I know we live in a litigious society, and I mean, it's gotten to the point where it's ridiculous, the kind of lawsuits and how often they're brought. But this seems like more of a PR stunt than anything else.
It certainly is, and it's just the height of hypocrisy that the DNC and Hillary Clinton's campaign would accuse anyone of meddling in our democracy when the DNC rigged their own primary against Bernie Sanders. And that's not my opinion. That's coming from Donna Brazile, and it also is coming from Senator Elizabeth Warren, who agreed with Donna Brazile that they stacked the deck against Bernie Sanders during the primary and didn't give their voters a fair shake. Add to it the DNC and Hillary Clinton's campaign millions of dollars to a foreign spy, Christopher Steele, to sow a disinformation campaign extracting unverified and salacious information from Russian informants, which made its way into our FBI thanks to James Comey and the gang. And for the past year and a half, they've been trying to usurp and throw, a soft coup effectively against the sitting president. So if this isn't meddling in a democracy, I don't know what is. And I look forward to the discovery, because I think the American people would be very interested to have an independent analysis of who hacked that DNC server.
Let me get in here, because the Trump campaign releasing a statement on what they're calling a frivolous lawsuit that reads in part, "This is a sham lawsuit about a bogus Russian collusion claim filed by a desperate, dysfunctional, and nearly insolvent Democratic Party." Mark, what are your thoughts?
That statement says it well. It's desperate. It's a pathetic stunt. Just try to keep the fake Russia story alive by a Democrat Party that is bankrupt of leaders, bankrupt of ideas, and financially bankrupt.
Robin, it's your party. You're the Democratic representative here tonight. Maybe a good PR ploy, but as a legal, legitimate lawsuit, I don't know.
Yeah, exactly. I'm with you there, and I agree with the first panelist. I think this sounds more like a PR stunt. Now, if this were true, this would be a major story. If they did, in fact, conspire with WikiLeaks and work with Russia and the Trump campaign, they would certainly have grounds to do this, and it would be unprecedented. But do they honestly think that they know better than Robert Mueller and the team that's investigating this? What other proof do they have? I'm curious to see what they say, but I'm very skeptical of this, and I'm questioning the motives, Charles.
Yeah, Harmeet, it seems like there should be some backlash against this also. I mean, they're making some allegations here that I don't think they can back up.
Yes, well, first of all, from a legal point of view, as a lawyer who looks at IP cases and cases involving theft of trade secrets, this is a laughable case, and I hope that the defendant's lawyers file a motion for Rule 11 for sanctions against the plaintiffs in this case. It's outrageous to make allegations about somebody being a spy, about hacking, about crimes without the evidence. And let's be clear, and there's 60 pages of allegations. They don't state the evidence. It's just surmise. It's conjecture. It's more like what a few people might say around, a table after many 2 glasses of wine to drink. It's really, it doesn't pass the smell test. And, there are a lot of legal problems with this. I mean, some of the statutes are probably not going to support this, even if the facts were there. One of the defendants is the Russian government, and there's extensive foreign sovereign immunity for claims, where it's particularly where you have no evidence. And finally, it's very interesting that the DNC has not allowed or resisted the FBI having access to its servers when this whole scandal broke. They don't want the FBI to see their servers, yet they're going to open themselves up to discovery. What a joke. In terms of discovery, I don't think there's going to be discovery in this case, because this case ain't going to get out of the gate.
Could you imagine that, though, Adriana? I mean, it's a double-edged sword. They'd have to, to have full kimono, open kimono on both sides.
That's right. And let's not forget that Debbie Wasserman Schultz refused to hand over her laptop to the FBI. They refused to hand over the DNC servers. And one of their top IT people, Imran Awan, who is in custody, he's been indicted for bank fraud and other charges. He hacked into over 24 House Democrat servers, stole all this data, put it in a Dropbox box, and then the FBI found he smashed hard drives. So they've got plenty of suspicious people working in-house. And if we need to have an independent analysis of that DNC server, because the DNC wants us to believe that, oh, the Russians hacked in. Well, show us the proof by letting an independent third party review it. And we should also be reviewing all of their IT staff who work there. They had access to John Podesta's emails. Let's review all of their devices, every single one of members of their IT staff. So I welcome discovery in this.
Mark, from a political point of view, I mean, I think sometimes this stuff backfires. Is there a chance that the American public will look at it and say, this is nuts, this smacks of desperation, and this is why we don't like politicians, and this is why we didn't vote for Hillary Clinton in the first place? This is actually the reason, the rationale for not voting for her in the first place.
I think that's right, Charles. And here's the other thing, is that you've already got places like the Washington Post, CNN are also questioning the wisdom of this decision or the evidence, if there is such a thing there. And you've got state chairmen and Democrat parties in states that the president won thinking this is going to put them in a very bad light. And if I'm a Democratic donor and you're trailing badly in the fundraising, you've got to look at the fundraising people going, you're taking my money to waste it here, as opposed to actually helping a candidate. It just doesn't make sense.
All right, folks, by the way, President Trump tweeting, just heard the campaign was sued by obstructionist Democrats. This can be good news in that we will now counter the DNC server that they refused to give the FBI, and Wendy Wasserman Schultz server, and documents held by the Pakistan mystery man and Clinton emails. Adriana, I think that's what you were saying. Thank you all very much. We got to leave it there. Coming up, major averages ending the week and